Alright, welcome back to a new video. I'm also live streaming this at the same time, but my focus is on the regular video. But if you hear me just randomly talk, then it could be to the live chat thing. But today's a Friday session, so I want to do the same thing I did last week, get up to 110 and 140. Did more weight in most exercises this week, so there's a chance that I don't feel up to it. I feel pretty recovered. I stayed up really late last night playing that out-of-the-park baseball game because I was just getting too obsessed about it. And yeah, so didn't sleep the best, but I feel recovered. I slept enough, and I'll have a reason to get up early. So, but it's obviously not ideal to stay up super late and not have that consistent time that you're going to bed. Summertime is hard with that because I don't really have a good justification for going to bed other than people are yelling about. You get to hear some of the sounds and noises of my neighborhood. One of the reasons I don't like to leave my windows open is less about the safety or anything. It's just random yelling and random crap that you hear screamed about. But just snatch a clean jerk today. Tomorrow I like to go heavy as well, so we want this day to be routine and to be quick, to be easy. I do have my other phone connected for music, but probably won't use it today. My quad tendon is like up and down. It's better than it was last week, but it's just kind of weird how like the 200 kilogram squat I did earlier this week, I had zero discomfort, but on the snatches I did prior to it, it was really uncomfortable. So it was really odd. And like the snatch balances, I honestly think, so it's obviously like the quad tendon because that's where the pain is, but I think it's when my feet are pointed out kind of like I would be in a snatch or something, that's when it's strained the most, if that makes sense. Because when I'm just doing cleans, it doesn't really bother me, jerks, doesn't really bother me, squats. Like front squats a little bit yesterday, but not enough to like limit me. And then when I say like the pain from the snatches to the back squats, like the pain was probably like, I mean, I would say anything above a 5 would be like actually limiting me what I can do. So it was probably like a 3 or a 4. It was there, but it wasn't like limiting me on anything I was doing. But then the squats, it was like actually nothing, and it was really bizarre. It was such a difference that it was confusing because as you would, like last week, the back squats didn't feel good doing the 170 for a triple. And not only was I able to do the 170, 185 without any discomfort at all, I was able to go up to 200 and do that without any discomfort. So it's definitely getting better. I think one of the things that's probably helping is trying to be more intelligent about the loading during the week and taking smaller jumps and not just arbitrarily jumping up big amounts each time I'm doing a session and repeating the same weights. Something I'm always bad at. Because it's more fun to lift a heavier weight than it is to lift a lighter weight. So if I'm like, well, I could go 110 and go 120, or I could go 121. It's like I'm just going to do 120 again and try to make it better than I did before and then go up. And so then when I do the same session the next week, especially with this first 5-week block, because the goal is just to hit more volume, is to get to those same weights but to make them better. And the exception to what I did earlier this week was probably with the pull plus snatches that I did on Monday, where those went really bad. I was able to end up getting 112, but just a lot of inconsistencies with that. But like, I like that I didn't just go to 115 and then try that a bunch of times. I went to 112 and stayed there. So then I have the goal the next week in that session to do the 110 the first time, and then to make the 112 or 113, whatever I do above that, and just build upon that. And so like tomorrow's session, when I go heavy, I would like it to get to 115 again, but then to go like 118, something beyond that. So we'll start moving the bar a little bit. Got my yard shoes on. I'm also trying to start a garden in the backyard. Not really sure how that's going to work. I have a little bit of the hill dug out a little bit, so I have a really steep hill, and those birds out there kind of scared me. But I have a really steep hill, so I'm trying to utilize it and to do something with it other than just mow it or just weed whack. I can't even mow it. I have to weed whack it because it's so steep. So my theory is, because it's so steep up like this, is to put ledges and have several of those. I'm just going to start with one. As I was digging it out, I want to make it look nice and then add more of them. And there's not like a timeline for me to do it. Like I could do it over 2 years, 3 years. So I start with one, try to make it look, symmetrical and make it look nice. And then in theory as well, I would like to just put steps into the hill so that I can go up and down the hill easier. Because now I just have to it's like I'm stepping like this on the hill, like I'm way up, and if it's wet at all, then I'm just slipping all over the place. So if I could get the steps in, and I saw when I went to one of the parks, one of the houses that are outside of the park complex had a really steep hill like mine, a lot smaller, but like really steep like mine, and he had this really cool like garden design. So like, not that I'm gonna copy what that is, but like there is like something I can do in that realm. Theoretically, I'd like to put blackberries and stuff. I don't really care about plants, per se. Oh, I want blackberries, berries. Those would be nice. And I feel like blackberries, I have one friend, he worked on a farm, like a commercial farm kind of. So he has some experience with crops and stuff like that. So he did say blackberries are pretty easy to grow. I think strawberries as well. But I like blackberries, so if I can grow those, I would like to do that. Let's move to the next clip. But if I can get one set, so I don't want to commit the whole hill and then not be able to grow anything. So I can start with this one small piece, and if I can get something to grow, so anything I know in my yard, it grows everything. But if I get blackberries particularly to grow, then that would be really nice, and I would really enjoy that. I remember as a kid at the park in my neighborhood, there would be wild blackberries growing, and they were so good, like a bear eating them all. But my friend also on my street had on his back deck a bunch of grapes growing, which was interesting. I don't necessarily want to do that because I'd have to have a structure probably for the vines and whatnot, but I feel like blackberries should be able to grow pretty well in the climate I live in here, and with just them being pretty hardy plants and stuff. And I can just let them go actually crazy out there if I can get a couple of them to grow. So I have to figure that out, buy some seeds, and see if I can get them to sprout and stuff, or whatever the term is, and then I'll have blackberries. My whole hill could just be blackberries, which would be really awesome. If the whole hill turned into blackberry bushes, I would be a happy man. Oh. Not too sore today, which is nice. Uh-oh. Oh, what's up, Slime Bars? I'm recording a regular YouTube video and a live stream. I'm multitasking. But, yeah, sorry about my plants on the hill. My theoretical blackberry plants. Get my shoes on and do that same thing with the bar. Do bigger jumps on the snatch on this day because I want the session to go faster. So 50, 70, 90, 100, and 110. And then 70, 100, 125, 140, and clean jerk. And then we're Gucci. As Gucci as we can be. Quads are a little sore, but quad tendon feels pretty good. I always think it's a chat when it's the Q&A recommendation. What are the Q&A? What's nice is quad tendon isn't really sore. Shoulder's a little, I mean, honestly, both shoulders are just kind of sore, so it's not even like pain. But I feel pretty ready to go. I took pre-workout today, which I wouldn't normally do on a session like this, but I wanted to feel good. And I didn't want to come out here and feel tired. Moving and we're grooving. No wrist reps for the, because we're using straps. Trying to get away from using those a little bit more, especially with straps. But actually, one that's pretty funny. So I commented on the hook grip weightlifting vlog, and I think I was the top comment. So I won, I think it's going to be the Alico flask, or not flask, tumbler that was in the video. And when I sent the email, I said like t-shirt would be fine, but I'd really love wraps, wrist wraps or knee wraps, or and or knee wraps. So he said he's gonna send me some sort of support gear, which is really cool. So I was a couple days ago, so I haven't had any update, but probably a week or so, I'm sure it'll get here. But I'm excited about that. The flask thing will be cool. Not the flask, I keep saying that, not the flask, the tumbler. That'll be cool. It wasn't really anything else in the, I think like the banner was like the only other thing I would potentially want from the video. But the tumbler itself would be, it's useful, and it's Alico, so it'll look pretty cool. But wrist or knee wraps I'd be happy with. I think if I had to pick, I'd pick wrist wraps, to be honest, just because I would have two different pairs. But I'll take what I can get. I mean, it's free. Yeah, it was the hook grip, whatever. I think it's the last video that they had posted. But the Asian Championships vlog. So I have the top comment on there, because you had to leave a comment, but it had to have a number in it, because he mentioned at the end of the video, which thankfully I saw. I actually did skip through some of it, but I was listening at the end and he mentioned that. I was like, oh, I already had left a comment, and I just edited mine to throw a number on it. Do one more set with the bar, and we get rocking and rolling. The hook grip stuff is always, it's like the nicest quality stuff. So you can't go wrong with it. I've shilled for their products many times. And I've never been, this is the first thing I've gotten from them. It was a contest, so it wasn't even like it's a sponsorship or anything. My knee wraps are hook grip, the pants are hook grip, the shirt's hook grip. Wrist straps, if I had them on, would be, but Iron Mind, still my favorite straps. And can't beat them. First straps I use for weightlifting, and it'll be the last. Tried other straps and they just don't work great, but we got them. All right. Not bad. My left wrist is a little sore from that third rep of the front squat yesterday. Kind of fell down my shirt a bit, but nothing that's too bad. We're just going to go right into this. Not bad. I'm gonna chalk up for the next one. More chalk. I'm always chalking. Eating chalk. Breathing chalk. Living chalk. I am chalk. Yeah, cotton Eleiko and warm body straps both ripped. St. Claus things. These are not. These are actually Gabriel's and Crane pants. I lied. I've been spreading misinformation. So these are St. Crane pants. But are these? I guess these are synthetic. They just work. If I had started with other straps, I probably would just use them. So I don't necessarily think these are like the end all be all, but I like them. I have a piece of hair that I didn't buzz. It's unfortunate. It's embarrassing. It's behind my ear though, so you can't see it. Alright, so 90 here. Little motorcycle race happening, no problem. It's probably a dirt bike, to be honest. I've seen those flying around. Alright. comes off if I'm feeling fast, right? Quad 10's a little tender, but nothing that's unmanageable. I think I'm more focused. Well, I think the pre-workout's helping me focus a bit more, but I keep thinking I'm going to have to keep it worse on each jump. I really don't. So this and one more. So I just want to make, obviously I have no misses, but not a lot. No, I've seen dirt bikes. Four-wheelers and like mini four-wheelers and little dirt bikes. I fly around on them. This week of trainings went well overall besides snatches on Monday. I was still able to sneak away with 112, and I don't like missing that much, I never do, but it is nice on a complex like that where if I'm doing a pull plus a snatch, if I keep missing, I'm doing more pulls. So I'm being punished by doing more volume. It's kind of like attempting a triple multiple times and missing the third rep. It's like when you're doing all the reps beforehand. All right, I'll make 100, 110, and then we hammer through some clean and jerks. Pretty good. Taking too long before I'm doing the lift, but making it well, so just gotta commit on the 110. It's good extension on really all the reps, catching in a good spot behind me. But it's got one more good rep. Let's go right into it because we got it. Take it. So now we go back to 70 for cleaning Yorks. No misses is nice. One felt decently difficult, but still caught it well. Didn't have to fight it too hard to save it. I don't remember how it felt last week, but I feel like that is definitely on the easier side of it. Especially on a day like this where I'm not fresh. My wrist straps. What'd you all do to my wrist straps? You guys come in here, hide them. You guys can't lift. You guys no clean jerks. Oh, right behind me. I hit him. I hit him in plain sight. Come on. Take the level wraps off and wrap them back up. Then we'll be ready for clean jerks. I only mowed the front yard today because the back actually didn't grow as much as the front. The backyard does grow. My grass goes really fast, but I think with how much rain there was in the last week, it was actually too much for the backyard, but the front yard drains, and it's in the front, so it gets more direct sunlight. So I think that combination made it a little bit longer. Not dramatically so, but just a tidbit. Just a tidbit. Happy with that because it's casual too. Like I'm focused in when I'm doing the lift, but to be kind of yapping and not listening to music and talking about blackberries and all of that stuff, it's exactly how I want this day to be. Casual, still push up to the same 110, 140, but I don't want to have to be blaring music and getting hyped. And I mean, I took pre-workout, so I did cheat today, but probably don't need to go. Probably need to go to bed a little bit earlier, so my sleep quality is a little bit better. But did one little thing. Monsoon. It really kind of is monsoon season. It's like the last 3 days of school were just raining. The last work day just poured the whole day, and it just rained. So I mean, it rained. Not just rained. It was like a monsoon. It was actually kind of insane. Which out here, underneath my platform, I used to have wood. Just like a normal, if you look up Catalyst Athletics, I built a platform like that. But because there's so much moisture that gets in here, the wood just gets rotten, no matter what kind of wood. Because it just soaks the moisture in. Because there's literally water that will get underneath and also condensation. So that combination is not good. So what I did instead, that's why I have the crash pads out here, and I use them all the time, is because I still have the original rubber, which is very thick. So I don't worry if I drop it occasionally on it, that I'm going to just immediately break the floor. But I have the regular rubber that you see, and then I have another layer of stall mats underneath all of that. And then obviously the platform just set on top of it. That's why the rubber, I just had to move the rubber to the side because I don't have them screwed in, which is literally just me being lazy. I have screws, I have the tools, and it's literally inside the house, and I just have to come out and screw it in, and they just wouldn't slide. But I can't be bothered, so I just keep sliding it back. But yeah, so what my theory is that if I just use crash pads, for one, it's going to protect the floor, so it's not going to get cracked up as bad. But also the platform will stay more level throughout the years, so I don't have to keep redoing it. But if I do have to redo it, I just have to take the wood, unscrew the middle platform, and then lift everything else up and then re-pour the floor, which I did last summer to make the floor more level, which honestly it pretty much is. It's not 100% perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Because what happened before was that the middle was raised up a little bit and it bowed down a little bit, and there wasn't any sort of, it was literally just a cement that was like that. So I had to pour it on basically on both sides of it to level it back up. So it wasn't actually cracked too bad underneath, but just when I had tried to fix stuff before, I think I didn't put it down properly, or maybe it wasn't poured originally correctly. Obviously, it probably wasn't, the shed wasn't built with the idea of being perfectly level. If anything, it probably would be ideal to have it sloped out of the shed a little bit so the water doesn't, you know, roll in here. But it really takes pretty aggressive rain, because you can kind of see, like, I don't know how easy it is to see on the video, but like I have a slope, and like I'm built in the side of a hill, so like water comes from like the back down into the shed, but it doesn't really come in from the other way unless it's like blowing in. So it's, thankfully it doesn't, you know, it's not just sunk down in a ditch in the middle of my yard. It's kind of up on a slope, so that doesn't help a lot with it. The condensation is kind of crazy out here though. There'll always be, you know, wetness on the plates, or the crash pads will have wet spots underneath. Probably because they wet themselves when they see me walking in. It's not condensation, it's urination from the U.S. nation. Yeah, I got this rubber that's doesn't have any. It's just flat. So like behind the platform, you can see what I have underneath, the tractor supply diamonds, which is fine. That's what I used for years on at World's Gym when I trained there. But I do like having a flat surface because it is more like a real platform. So you don't have to feel the bumps of it when you're rolling it around. But I do have a little bit of a slope. So where it's sitting now, it sits flat and it doesn't roll around. Obviously, it's not moving. But if I go a little bit behind, it rolls into a little bit of a crux. So it's not perfect, but where I lift right there, it's fine. It's fine for what I need. We'll stop procrastinating. We'll go and hit it. My thumb is basically, I don't know, it's basically back to being a callus. But I still use thumb tape for clean jerks because I don't want to rip it open. And that's another thing on the heavy days, on Saturdays, I want to do everything without straps. So, requires a lot of thumb tape. Which, I don't mind thumb tape, but it's just, I always sweat out of it, so it's kind of obnoxious. Alright. Clean jerks have gone well this week as well. I did that 125 clean pull, clean front squat, push press, and jerk, which I was really happy with, especially the push press. But the whole lift felt really good, so I'm happy with that. And then yesterday, doing the jerks from the rack, I missed the 140 the first time I did it, but then I made it and I was able to re-rack it, which is big. That's kind of like the last thing that I haven't really like retrained after recovering my hyperextended thumb. That kind of re-rack of, you know, jerks, really difficult in general, but with heavy weights, particularly, obviously it's even more difficult, but just like getting comfortable with that and that balance and everything. But I did it with 140 when I made it, and then did it with 145. So like that's just good extra training, and it just gives me that time under tension kind of in a sense where you have to be really balanced and really controlled with it as you're kind of letting it, a controlled crash on it. But it is a good skill to have because it's convenient, but also it's good training stimulus as well. It's a free one if you can do it, but obviously, like if I feel unstable or if it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to try to do it and, you know, drop it on myself. So with about 140, 145, like I should be able to control it enough on the way down to where it doesn't crash on me too bad. It's harder obviously with heavier weights because you can't control it as much because of the sheer load. But like when I do like 120, like that's close to, you know, I can push press that weight on a consistent basis. So like that is not hard to re-rack typically. But the heavier jerks past what I can push press and stuff is usually a little bit more difficult. All right. Let's see how this feels. No knee reps for this. like 70. Put the knee wraps on in. What's up, Nolan? Hope your baseball season went well. Casting with the full grip? I don't know what that means. Alright, you're in time, Nolan, for some clean jerks. It's my, I don't really know what to call this session. It's my casual session, where I want to hit 110 in the snatch and 140. I want it to be casual, laid back, relaxed. May have taken pre-workout today because I slept or I stayed up really late, but I did sleep enough. I just stayed up too late. Now I could go 100, 125, 140, or we chat up and just go right to 120, which I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't catch anything with a hook grip. I've never been able to do that with a clean. I've tried to do that with snatches and it just feels horrendous. That is one bit of mobility. I think there's many reasons why. Most people can't. I think there's many reasons why I can't in particular. I think it's probably distance. I don't know if it's general arm length, but it could be also the length of the forearm. That could be an aspect of it. The fact that as a 5th grader, I broke my radius here. So I don't think I have any mobility restrictions, but like I'm probably not gonna be gifted as far as like holding a hook grip in a lift. Not necessarily because of that, but I'm sure it didn't help. I think mostly it's probably due to just the length of your arms. Obviously some with like wrist dexterity and stuff like that, but that, and also kind of like when you do mobility work as a kid, like that kind of stuff holds on longer throughout life. And I didn't do front squats till college, so I'm not going to have, I didn't do cleans in high school and stuff, so it's not like I'm going to have lots of extra mobility in the front rack, but I probably never would anyway. Most of my mobility gifts are in my lower body, ankles, hips, and knees. I have enough in my upper body, but it's like I can sit in a squat for an hour and be fine, but I can't do a side press. Can't sit in the bottom of a squat and press up, get destroyed. But make this 120, and then we'll take one more jump to 140, and go and eat some chicken. Eat the chicken. Pushed it back a little bit too much. Usually I have the opposite problem where I go forward too much. It's obviously felt heavier. I added weight. Alright. Well, I don't know, that was weird. My camera just stopped recording for a second. I noticed it pretty quick because it did beep. So hopefully there's not a lot lost. Redo the wraps and do 140. I really want to do it to music, but we're just going to hit it and quit it. Well, yeah, Nolan's got a buttery swing. butter. He plays catcher as well, but I see him as a first baseman outfielder. Unless he's not as tall as he seems. Unless he's got Fugazi height like I do. I look like I'm 6'4" out here when I'm 5'11". You know, if I was a dishonest man, I'd put that I'm 6'2" in my dating profiles and just send them stills of me lifting out here because I look so tall. Most women aren't going to be that tall, so you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of me being 5'11" and 6'2". I've had people in real life think that I'm not 5'11". It's such a weird thing to not be be accused of being taller. You're 5'11"? Like you're taller. It's always the opposite, which I suppose is a good problem to have. It's probably because I'm so yacked. I'm absolutely yoked. All right, let's lock in. I mean, that's probably, I didn't really think about the shoes. So yeah, I actually am 6 foot. I mean, depends how tall the shoes are, but I probably am 6 foot in these. So that adds to my mystique. I have literal heels on. So I could actually say I'm 6 foot. I wear these enough. So breaking news, I'm 6 feet tall. All right, one more big lift. What we wanted, and we got it. Whew. Alright, we got our numbers. Didn't need to cheat and use music. I wanted to though. I wanted to, but I'm gonna stop the regular video. Deuces for you.